All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Welcome to the Wow Mastermind Wednesday call. This is a call that we do every Wednesday, Mastermind call, where we talk about different topics. We interview different women of wealth and just have a good time. All right, so let's get started here. So this is our agenda for tonight. We'll do some introductions of the team. We'll talk about who this mastermind is for. We'll also go through how we can help you. And then we've got a really special treat for everyone tonight. We've got an interview with a woman of wealth, and she has a wealth of mindset knowledge. And we're going to talk to her and actually go through a little bit of a mini session with her. And I'm going to be the guinea pig on that. So that'll be exciting. See how that works. And then we have time at the end for Q&A and next steps and any frequently asked questions that anyone may have. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First up on the introductions, I want to introduce my sister, Tamaria Allen. She is in charge of strategy for Women of Wealth Ventures. And she is an author and a mother, and she is passionate about helping women entrepreneurs succeed in business and juggling multiple priorities. So Tamaria is like, she has the vision for our company. We started this company a few years back, and we purchased two e-commerce businesses, two online businesses, and Tamaria is great at just kind of steering the ship in the right direction. So that's my sister, Tamaria Allen.
Hello,
Next
everyone.
up, I'm Kanika Bailey. I'm in charge of technology for our company. And I am a natural trainer and coach, even though I work in technology. And I love to help people thrive using technology. So that's my thing, to help women, us especially, learn to use technology and get familiar and comfortable with it, because technology is just the future. And if you can understand it and use it to your advantage, then all the better. So that's my role. And coming up next is my mother, Linda Jackson. She is in charge of finance. She's the creative force behind our company, that we also call Mom. And in addition to handling the finances, she's like the creative voice of the social posts that we do. And she's just awesome at making everything pretty that we put out. So that's my mom, Linda.
Hi.
All right. So next thing that we want to talk about is our mastermind right for you? And we want to really make sure that we set expectations, right? So we want to work with women where they want more control over your finances. We want women that understand that money can come from more than a paycheck. It should come from more than a paycheck. And having multiple streams of income is really how you create that financial independence for yourself, how you create that legacy for your family. And so we want to help you with that. You have to be willing to put in the work, though. This is not anything that is a get rich quick scheme. We're not promising that you'll be a millionaire overnight. It's going to take work. It's not it's not anything that's impossible, but it's also not going to be easy all of the time, right? And that's with anything worth doing is worth doing right. You also should be willing to embrace technology. A lot of our people are coming in from Facebook, so we do understand that you understand social media, or at least you're comfortable with social media if you're on Facebook and posting regularly. So if you're willing to embrace technology, this is a good group for you, because we're going to leverage technology wherever we can. And that's how we're going to make our money, with technology. So you have to be willing to embrace it. And also, the most important thing, I think, is, are you ready to change your mindset? Your mindset is important, and our guests will talk about that. But your mindset, your thoughts control everything. Your thoughts are responsible for everything that you have and everything that you are. And if you want more, you more than likely have to change your thinking. And this is something that we can help you with. All right. So let's get in a little deeper about how we can help you here. So one thing that we like to tell women is that you can start with the knowledge that you already have. And you have to ask yourself, what unique skills do you possess that people will pay for? And if you're not sure, this is something that we can help you figure out because you, as an individual, you have a unique set of skills. And chances are we can help you figure out how people will pay you for that knowledge and that ability. So don't discount what you already know. There's also there are also things that you can learn if you are willing to learn a new skill set. You can also make some money that way. But the first thing that you want to do is really start with the knowledge that you already have and see how we can leverage that. So this is something again that we can help you figure out. So we offer coaching plans. You can work with us for 3, 6, or 12 months, whatever you desire. We offer in these coaching plans the main thing, accountability. We are going to be there to ask you if you've done your homework and done what you needed to do. If you need that little kick in the pants, we can provide that for you. We're also here for support. So, you don't, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times, especially when you're a solopreneur, you feel like you're kind of on an island and, friends or family that maybe don't understand what you're doing or think that you can do it. It can be very lonely. So, we do offer support. We want you to be a part of a group of nurturing women that help each other out and support each other. So, that's another thing that we offer. Expert advice. We have been in business for several years now, and we've gone through and learned from the school of hard knocks, learning things by experience. So we can offer you that advice. We also, if it's something that's maybe not in our wheelhouse, we can find an expert for you. We can get you help. That's the beauty of having a network of women behind you, is that you can find the help that you need and you can start thinking about things in a different way because of your network. So, and the last thing here is, if you don't earn your investment back, your coaching is free. So if you choose to work with us and you put in the work and you don't get what you hope for, your coaching is free. That's our guarantee, and that's how sure we are that we can help you. Okay. So now that I've said all of that, and if you are interested in any of our coaching packages, certainly let us know. You can reach us if you're not in our Facebook group. We'll put a link for that in there, and you can join that. And we're in there all the time posting, so you can hit us up that way. I want to go ahead and start off with our woman of wealth. Her name is Dee Gredler. And I'm going to let Dee talk about her business. It was very intriguing to me what she does. She's actually a certified coach and she helps with mindset, but I'm going to let Dee talk about it and tell us what she does. So, Dee, welcome and thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me here, and hello, everybody. My name, like Kanika said, is Dee Gredler, and I am a certified neuro coach. And what that means is that I use the knowledge that they've gained about how the brain works when it comes to our beliefs, how they're formed, and how they're destroyed. And I use that to guide women to destroy their limiting beliefs and to create new beliefs that will serve them better. So that's what a neuro coach is. I've been in business for about a year now. Kanika was talking about the things that you already know how to do. I didn't start that way. I was one of those who wanted to learn this. I found this process and I got into a certification group, and I was just fascinated by it. So this is what I do now, and I love it.
It is fascinating, right? It's just like just how learning how the brain works. And we look at how children start off. Young children think they can do anything. And a lot of times they will try to do anything. But as we get older, that gets stifled and put into a box and we forget about all of that. So I'm glad that you help women kind of discover that limitlessness that children have.
And on the other hand, it's true too that many of our beliefs are formed. We have good beliefs as well as limiting beliefs, but many of them are formed in our childhood because in childhood, well, not just childhood, but as people, we want three things. We want safety,
Hmm.
or we need safety, we need love, and we need to feel that we're enough. And so when we look to the authority figures in our life, we try, sorry about my cat, we try to we try to find that safety, that love, that being enough for them. And when we get that, then we figure out, okay, what did I do to get that? Or when I don't get that, then we think, well, what can I do to um, kind of get along on my own? And for instance, if I don't have a safe environment, then I'll begin to think, well, maybe I need to be very quiet and not speak. And, maybe that'll keep me safe. And so we grow up with this belief that it's best if we don't speak, and we
Right.
don't as grown-ups. But that's not our fault. That was what we did to protect ourselves growing up. Or if we got approval for something and love for something, then we wanted to repeat that. Um, Sometimes they were good things, sometimes they were things that turned bad later on. For instance, if you made good grades, that's great when you're in school, but when you're not in school and you don't have grades anymore, then you kind of wonder, well, am I enough because I don't have grades to prove that what I'm doing is enough? So many of these limiting beliefs do come in our childhood.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mm.
So it's not our fault. It's not like we sat there and thought, well, I think I'll just, sorry, I think I'll, you need to get him. I think I'll just, be a quiet person and never speak, never really be known. We don't make that decision. That's just what we gain as children without thought. In fact, our brains can't even, critically assess what we're doing. And so we just end up with those beliefs that are limiting us later on.
That's a,
Wow. Yeah.
Dee, I have a question for you.
Uh huh.
So you talk about like the beliefs from childhood. What do you find that like some of your clients are dealing with in terms of like money beliefs, like the limitation behind really making the money that they feel like they deserve or that they desire?
There can be a lot of things. It can be something like if you remember driving through a neighborhood as a child, and one of your parents said, "Oh, these are rich people. They're greedy." Well, if you just start to make money, you don't want to be greedy. So you kind of tap down on how much money you're making because your belief is that rich people are greedy. And that's not what you want to be. So that's one example of a limiting belief. Another example of a limiting belief could be that your parents said that we can't make money. We're not those kind of people. We're not entrepreneurs or businessmen or whatever. And so we believe, well, I can't make money. That's just not what my family does, or that's what the people are not what the people around me do. So that
Hmm.
could be another limiting belief.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm.
And sometimes there's a definite cap. If they say anybody that makes over $100,000 a year is making it off the back of other people. Well,
Mm.
you don't want to make over $100,000 a year.
Okay.
And so you keep it down, or if you do
Mhm.
happen to go over $100,000 one year, it's very likely you'll be under it the next to try and get back down to that safety zone.
Mhm.
And I really feel like a lot of times, especially women, are probably not even conscious that they're doing that. Because
Yeah.
just giving that example of making over 100,000, there may be a woman in a position where she is, being encouraged to apply for a promotion. And if she knows that it's going to put her over that, she may shy away from doing it and may not really understand why she's doing that.
And that's true because our beliefs, I know that we all have, well, not all, but a lot of people understand what some of their limiting beliefs. They know what it is that they think about themselves or believe about themselves negatively. But for the most part, these beliefs are in our subconscious because once you have a belief, the brain wants to put it on automation, which pushes it down into the subconscious, and we're not even aware of it anymore. And 80 to 90% of all the decisions that we make day after day after day are made from our subconscious, not from the conscious part of our brain.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
How do you go about uncovering your negative beliefs?
There's a series of questions that I lead my clients through. And it's important that I don't point out to them what their limiting belief is, but that they say it first because they need to hear it in their own words, because even if it's in their subconscious, those are the words their brain is using. So your brain needs to recognize it, and they need to hear it in their own voice because that's the voice that's in your head, is your own voice. So I just go through a series of questions trying to pull out that limiting belief. And sometimes I can do it in one session. Sometimes we have to come back and try it, a second time. But as long as the person is willing to get to that limiting belief, then we can get there.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this question. How does a person actually know that they have limiting beliefs? Like what things do you begin to see? Like I know we talked about not wanting to apply for the promotion, but is that maybe hidden in some other thing, but really underneath the surface, it's a limiting belief?
Yes, it is. And there are symptoms that can clue you off to a limiting belief. Like that person who didn't want to apply for the job, she might put it off and procrastinate and never, apply for it in time. Or she may just come up with a reason. No, this isn't for me. So and so would be better at this. I'm afraid to take it. But the kind of roadblocks that show up are procrastination, fear, perfectionism, and researchitis. Sometimes overwhelm is a symptom that shows you there's a limiting belief down underneath. So a lot of times when you work with somebody, they'll try and hack your procrastination, or they'll give you hacks for how not to procrastinate anymore, or how to get out from being perfectionistic. But the thing about the brain wants to keep you in a safe place. Let's just think, this is silly, but let's think that my face is all the potential that you have, all your capabilities, all your potential. And we're living like on my nose because we've got these beliefs that are keeping us playing small. And our brain wants to keep us there because it's comfortable. We might not like it. We might wish that we could move, way on past where we are now. But the brain is like, no, we've got to stay safe. And so it throws up those roadblocks, but they do give you a clue to the fact that you've probably run up against a limiting belief.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very
Yes.
good. I can attest to like doing an inventory of what I think my problem is, and then going off, like you said, like procrastinating. So then I go get a book on procrastination and not really understanding that it's not, that's the symptom of the problem, and it's not
Right.
addressing the root of the problem. So
Okay.
That's right.
that is excellent.
That
Wow.
And
is.
and what happens when you recognize your limiting belief and you go through this process I go through with my clients, they actually destroy that neural pathway in the brain where that limiting belief is running. And so the symptom just disappears because there's no need for it anymore. But
Mhm.
yeah, we literally destroy that limiting belief.
Wow, that's
So,
powerful.
how long does the process take of getting rid of the limiting beliefs on the average?
The sweet spot is between 62 and 67 days.
She's got it down to days. All right, Dee.
Well, the person who certified me has it down to days.
Okay.
No, but that's
That's
awesome
good.
to just, have a time frame because I think sometimes it feels like there's so much to unpack that, you kind of wonder, is it going to be like therapy where I need to go for years and years to just really heal myself? But no, apparently not.
No, it's not. There's a definite end to it. And it's the thing about it, people want things right now,
Of
but
course.
67 days isn't that long.
No, it's
It's really
not.
It's not
not.
For
like 2 years or, something like that.
3 years.
years
Yeah.
of limiting beliefs from
Yes.
childhood.
Yes.
Right, right.
Mm.
So that's how that works. And in fact, it's interesting that not only does it take that amount of time to get rid of a limiting belief, but it takes that same amount of time to create a new belief that serves you better. So you can do one thing and do the other at the same time. And the old one will go away and the new one will take its place and be automated down into your subconscious.
Mm,
Awesome.
Okay. Cool.
that is awesome.
Can you do more than one limiting belief at a time? Like destroy one, more than one?
You can. It depends on the person. I've worked with people that only want to work on one at a time. Um, I like to work on multiple ones, but I found that I've got a limit. I can't work on more than like 4 at a time. It
Hmm.
just gets to be too much. But that's me. I've never worked with anybody that's done more than that. So it's an individual thing.
Hmm.
That's excellent. So how long does it take the participant each week to work on this?
It takes them, again, depending on how many they've got, but just say they're working on one, it probably takes about 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I think we can all spare that, right?
Right.
It's worth it.
Definitely worth it. All right. So, Dee, do you want to go ahead and promote your services? Let everybody know how they can work with you if they have limiting beliefs that they want to destroy.
Sure, you can get in touch with me if you email d@dgredler.com, or you can friend me on Facebook at D. Blomley Gredler. If you just do Dee Gredler, I think I'm the only Dee Gredler, but the middle name is Blomley.
Gredler.com. I'm going to put that in the chat.
Okay. And we can set up a call to see, if we're a good fit, a free call. No pressure, no nothing.
All right, that sounds good. And then you said your coaching package is 3 months, I think you said.
It's 3 months. I'm thinking about changing it to 4 months just to make sure everybody gets, all the help that they need, because it can be a little slower at the beginning.
Mhm.
So I don't want anybody to be left hanging. towards the end, I want to make sure that they do get that belief taken care of. But right now it is 3 months, yes.
Okay.
I have one more question for you. What is how did you get into, oh, you told us how you got into this, but you just seem very passionate about it. Like what about doing this makes you so passionate?
It's just amazing. Like I'm working with a client now, and she came to me because she wanted to work on one thing. And as we dug around, we found out what her limiting belief was. And she was just astounded. She had no idea that she thought that about herself. And, you know, she sees how it has affected all areas of her life, not just that one that she wanted to work on. And to see her, you know, just begin to, when you refute it, you're trying to think of things in your life that show that limiting belief to be false, things that you do, and you know, no matter what part of your life. And she was saying, I couldn't think of anything at first, but we kind of talked through different things and she came up with it. Last night, she finally finished with her refuting, and she listened to the whole thing, and she sent me a DM, and I got it this morning. She said, I finished my recording last night and I listened to it with a big smile on my face the whole time, which was so different from the beginning where she was like, I don't know if I can listen to this. I don't even know if I can say it with conviction. And just to see people, you know, the progress that they make, it's just so amazing. I just love to watch it.
Mm.
That's wonderful.
All
I
right,
love it.
so I have to ask, can you share Dee has a wonderful story about peanut M&Ms. Can you share that with us? I love
Sure.
this story.
When I first learned about this process, I thought, okay, I'm going to try it out on something that I'll know for sure that it works, that it's not um, just a fluke or something like that. And I happened to be addicted to sugar. And at that time, my drug of choice was peanut M&Ms. Yeah, I can raise my hand too. And so at that time, every afternoon, without even thinking about it, I just cold-bloodedly would walk out to the car, get in the car, drive to the grocery store, head straight for the candy aisle, and get not the big family bag, but the next larger bag that has 11 servings in it of peanut M&Ms, and it was half gone by the time I got home and completely gone within an hour. So this was, of
Yeah.
course, packing on the pounds. And I thought, okay, I'm going to see if I can stop eating those peanut M&Ms. And I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to work. But I went through the process with it, and it doesn't work at first. You can't tell any difference, you know. But after several weeks, I went into that same grocery store that I always went to get my peanut M&Ms. I went and got the things that I needed. I checked out. I drove home, and I thought, wait a minute, I didn't even think about the candy aisle. I didn't even think about peanut M&Ms. And I can go and look at a bag of peanut M&Ms now and go, nah, no thanks. It just totally broke my addiction to peanut M&Ms. So it was pretty neat.
That is awesome. I love that.
Mm.
Wonderful.
All right.
And it's so practical.
It is. It is. Very practical.
I'm
Oh.
excited. Can we get this mini session?
Sure. Okay, Kanika, you ready?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so tell me a situation that happens that makes you be afraid or procrastinate or get it caught up into perfectionism or researchitis. What is a situation that brings that on?
So I thought about it, and promotions. Promoting myself causes me to procrastinate because I'll say, okay, well, I need to put this out there. I need to put this on Facebook, or I need to send this out, or I need to talk about this. And Tamari's been getting on me to do lives. And I'm like, yeah, I'll put that on my list, knowing that it's not ever going to be on the list.
So are you procrastinating or are you afraid? What are you thinking when you think about doing Facebook Lives and promoting yourself?
It's more of a procrastination thing. I tell myself that it's not fear because I stand in front of people like in my day job. I've done training. I do training all the time. I host our lunch and learns, and so it's not me standing in front of people or teaching people or training people. I think it's more so promoting myself and what I'm doing as opposed to, when I'm training, I'm showing people material, I'm showing them software, right? And so that's not really me. It's my personality, but it's not promoting me, it's promoting the software. So I'm okay doing that. But then when it comes to promoting myself and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, you should buy from me, that's where I get tripped up.
And when you're told you need to do a Facebook Live, what is the emotion that comes up?
Um, Anxiousness,
Okay.
and I feel like I need to be perfect, and I feel like I'm not perfect, so that's why I'm not doing, cuz I'm like, "Oh, I need to go get my hair done. Maybe I should go get a makeover. Maybe I should do this and that."
Okay. And when you are anxious, um, what thought goes with that?
Um, I guess that I'm not ready. I'm not good enough as I am, and no one's going to buy it. No one's going to say, "Here, I want to work with you. Here's money." Um, yeah, so things like that.
All right. Well, now, what would you like to have happen? What action would you like to take?
Um, I guess I don't know.
Would you like to be able to do the Facebook Live?
I would, and I would like to be able to just get on camera and get it done and go and promote our business and promote myself, and I guess not have any fear around it. I would
Okay.
really like to show up with that as I do with my day job.
All right. So, what decision would you have to make in order to do that?
I I think I would have to really just say that, understand that I'm good enough as I am and that I don't need to be perfect, and nobody's expecting me to be perfect except probably me.
And when you think about making that decision, then what emotion comes up?
Um I guess fear comes up. I'm like, well, are you sure? Are, and there's this little voice that says, no, that's not right. You can't do that.
Okay. And tell me more about the voice that's telling you you can't do that.
So I will think about things that I can promote, or I think about what I can do, and I think they're good ideas, they're innovative ideas, but there's this little voice that says, no, no, that's not going to work because of this, and this, or I come up with all the reasons why it will fail.
Okay. And what are you feeling when you come up with reasons that it'll fail?
Um, some of it is, I guess, relief that I don't have to step out of my comfort zone. Some of it is frustration that, I felt like it was a good idea, but then there's all of this other that I didn't think about initially. So a little bit of both, kind of equally.
Okay. I think, I know we don't want to make this too long. I think you've said twice what your limiting belief is. And we would want to go further to make sure that that's what it really is. But you said twice that you're not good enough as I am.
Mhm.
And so that could be the limiting belief. There could be something else under there, but that's where we would start. And then if there was something else under there, um, if we couldn't find anything else under there, I'd take you through the process of refuting it and rewiring your brain. And then we would probably uncover at some point during the whole process if there was a further deeper limiting belief. But I really think you said it twice so far. I'm
Mhm.
not good enough as I am.
Mhm.
Tell me more about that. I'm not good enough as I am.
Um, I just feel like I should be doing more, or I should be more experienced. I should be more confident. And that whole, why would anyone buy anything from me? Why would anyone trust me to help them?
Okay. What do you think about that being your limiting belief? I'm not good enough as I am.
That I feel like there's more that I should be doing before I'm able to promote myself.
Okay. Tell me
Like I
more about
haven't met
that.
my own standard. Like I guess my standards are high and probably unattainable, and I haven't met that standard yet. So how can I promote anything and expect anyone to take me seriously?
Okay. And so because your standards are so high, then you've got this, I'm not good enough as I am.
Right.
Okay. And those were your words. I wrote those down. Those aren't my words.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you were my client, I would start going through the refuting process, and we can do a little bit of that if you want to. But you're watching the time. Y'all know better than I do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Can can you make a miracle in 20 minutes?
Okay, let's think about if that's your limiting belief. What I would have my client do now is to write that down. Write down exactly what she said. I'm not good enough as I am.
Hmm.
And I would have her write it down because it's been in her subconscious, usually, and you want to pull it into the conscious part of the brain. So you, by writing it down, you're using fine motor skills, the conscious
Hmm.
part of the brain. You're using logic, all those kinds of things that help to pull it out a little bit more into the conscious part. So I want you to, you say, I'm not good enough as I am. Tell me about what you do at work.
So I am a software architect, and basically what that means is if a company wants to implement a Microsoft product, we will go in and we will meet with them, meet with the team at the client. We'll talk to them about their pain points of their current software, what their business processes are, and we'll come up with a plan to implement new software for them. And then we go and actually build that. And that also usually entails training. So if they need their users to be trained on the new system, I'm actually writing documentation now for a client for their training, but I have also gone in and given training several times. So once we build the system for them, we'll go in and we go through testing and training, and then we take them live, and then we offer support after that. So I've been involved in all phases of that, from the initial requirements gathering with the client to training and go live support.
And where did you learn how to do this?
I started out my IT career in technical support, and just have kind of gone from there. So I wanted to be a consultant, and I didn't have the implementation background. I had the software knowledge, but I didn't have the consultant skills. So it took me a while to actually get into the field, but I kept on and I kept on, and I actually got hired at a firm here in Atlanta, and that's kind of where I got my start, and it's kind of just gone from there.
Okay, just from what you've told me, I can see that you were definitely good enough as an IT support person, and that you climbed up and you learned what needed to be learned. Um, you definitely were good enough to learn what you have learned, um, and learned it well, because, you know, if you write the processes and you're an architect, I, I know I'm exactly what does that mean, a software architect?
So I guess, and I'm actually new to the role, but what the architect does is the architect basically designs the system. So we take what the client has told us about what they need and what their business processes are. We'll question some things that they're doing, because a lot of times people will say they're doing something and they really need to have that in the new system, but it turns out they were doing it that way because that was a limitation of their previous system. So we also try to help them figure out new ways of doing things. You got new technology coming in, maybe we need a new process. So we just kind of build and we design the system that we're going to put in for them.
So do you have people working under you?
Yes.
Sounds like that's proof that you're good enough. Um, so how long have y'all been, you said several years you've had this business together. Um, are you not content, but are you excited about what's happening with your business?
I am excited, but there's also that kind of the fear of the unknown. When you're doing something different or something new, or you got to kind of trust your instincts and your skills to forge a new path, I guess.
That's why you got company, isn't it?
Right?
Linda and Tamaria. Okay, so you've given me a lot of evidence so far that you are good enough, that you're a very smart woman. Um, you are confident when you're getting up in front, even when you're not talking about yourself. Um, so, can you think of other areas in your life, things that you've done, things that you've accomplished, where that show that you are good enough?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've managed to kind of get this, we've got these businesses, and like I said, we've been doing it for a while. So we've learned something. I've learned a lot. I mean, I don't know, if somebody told me 5 years ago that we would be doing something like this, I would have laughed at them. but I have learned a lot. I know there's a lot that out there to learn and things are changing all the time, but I've learned a lot.
Well, it sounds like that you are good enough to be a part of this business. It sounds like that you're good enough to keep up with all the changes that come along. And see, I would just work with my client and we would make a long list of what is proof that I am good enough. You know, one thing about your brain is it's always looking for proof of your beliefs and it's filtering out anything that shows it not to be true. So, like with the client I was talking about before, she had a hard time coming up with examples that contradicted her limiting belief because your brain just kind of cancels them all out and just looks for the evidence that you're not good enough. So we would collect as much evidence as we could in order to present to your brain the truth that this belief is not a true belief.
Mm.
And a belief is made when a thought and an emotion are married together and they're repeated over time. So you want to, when you repeat these things to yourself, the things that prove that you are good enough, then you want to say it with emotion. You want there to be emotion there so that you have the thought and you have the emotion and it begins to destroy that old belief until it finally does crumble. So that's where we would head next. We would just keep making as long a list as possible of evidence that that the limiting belief is false, so that we can present it to our brain, and the brain can begin to think, oh, maybe I am wrong. Maybe this is a false belief, until you finally convinced it and the false belief was gone.
Mm. Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I think it is, but I guess it's a good thing I think it is, huh?
Right.
Dee, when we talked to you before, I didn't ask you like some of the things that you were doing to like advertise or to get your services out there. But I did come up with a few things that I wanted to present to you that might be helpful for you in your business, because what you're doing is amazing, and people, you need to have as many clients as your heart desires.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
one thing that I thought about, because you told us about like the things about Facebook and nurturing prospects and things like that. But have you considered teaming up with other coaches? And what I mean by that is so you do mindset, like teaming up with someone that might be a fitness coach or someone that might be
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
like a high ticket coach, someone who's very niche, and helping them with their clients that have mindset challenges, because I think that everybody, unless you are like mindful that you have challenges with your mindset, whether we want to admit it or not, it's like um most of the time I think that people don't, they think they're fine, you know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah, they
I'm
think they're fine and they're just lazy. That's
right.
why they
Yes,
procrastinate,
yes,
right?
So they have to go
yes.
get the book. But I think that that might be a good thing for you to have, like maybe about 4 or 5 different people that you're working with, and you guys are like, you can refer each other services. If you have a client that might be that wants to lose the weight, they can go to the fitness coach or whatever, but leveraging someone else's, network, because there's a lot of people out there that need this, and you wouldn't be necessarily stepping on their toes if they're, offering like niche services.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I have, if you're interested, I have two people that, that you might want to contact to see if they might need they might want a partnership with you.
I would love that if you could do an introduction.
Yeah. And see, that's another thing is like, you could be introduced to their client, like, oh, Dee, you have to work with her. She's great, blah, 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 blah. They tell you, they tell the prospective client, things about you, and then they really, really build you up, and then they can hand it, like make that exchange, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
That's what I thought about for you.
Well, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate it.
So yeah, I was thinking like even like somebody who teaches people on relationships might, because people, they leave one relationship and go to the next relationship, and they got like all of this baggage and all of this.
Yeah, and they date the same kind of toxic person all the time. Yes.
Yes.
There's some stuff to unpack there.
Yeah,
I'm writing this all down.
I read that people generally pay money to be coached on weight, on making more money, and finding love. So yeah.
That's the big three, right? Aren't there three categories?
Yeah. And you think about it, all of those are mindset driven.
Yeah, very much so.
All of them.
Yeah.
I guess everything is.
Yeah.
Mindset,
Pretty much.
Yeah, I've learned from this one coach that I had that the only thing that trumps mindset is biology. That if you don't sleep enough or eat right or that kind of thing, that's the only thing that can trump mindset.
Okay.
Exactly. Right.
Interesting.
Well, I'm definitely going to do what you suggested.
Okay. Awesome.
Me too.
Do you have any questions?
How do you suggest approaching people about this? I mean, don't I need to have something to offer them too?
Well, you would be willing to, to promote them as well. I mean, I don't know how often you would come across somebody that would desire. I mean, you probably would come across people that want to lose weight. I mean, because losing weight is like everybody's struggle, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
People struggle. And then, I mean, I would just basically like try to help them out. I think that offering them referrals in return is a good start.
Okay.
Should give them a discount on their mindset coaching. Knock off a few dollars.
I can do that.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. So this has been very enlightening for me, at least. I hope it is for everybody else out there. But this was awesome, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us, Dee. And
well, thank you so much
just
for
keep it
having
up.
me.
Yeah, keep on keeping on. You're offering a wonderful service, and it's needed. So,
It is needed. I need it
yeah.
myself continually.
Right. All right. So, if we don't have any questions, we don't have anything in the chat there. If we don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up. We've got 7:56, so we're gonna close out. Anybody have any final thoughts before we wrap?
I just want to just give everybody with mindset is so important. And like I said earlier, people overlook mindset. Oh, they think that if only I had the right tools and the right skills and the right knowledge, be able to be successful. But mindset opens the door to those
Yeah.
opportunities. I can't even begin to tell you how many times, like, I've just visualized, you know, um, something happening and then it's showing up. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
I don't think that people should take this lightly, because through a right mindset comes opportunities. Like you can get opportunities that drop into your spirit.
Yes.
Um, you get ideas. You're praying or you're meditating or you're doing whatever, and you get this brilliant idea, and that might be the thing that you had been looking for, right? And
Mhm.
you heard so many stories about people that are like running around, they're going here, they're going there, looking for this particular thing. And with the right mindset, you can find it. And most of the times it's right where you are, but you're
Right.
just so um, blind to the opportunity or the resources. So I'm gonna
It's
stop there because I'm sure we're at 8 o'clock now. But yeah, I'm like a mindset, yes.
Definitely.
You're exactly right with all of that you said.
Yes, definitely.
Get your mind right and your money flows. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap up, and we will talk to you next week.
Thank you so much, Dee.
Thank you
Thanks,
again.
Dee.
Cat, I said hello.
Bye.
Good night.